Hey y'all, it's Ricky T, and I'm here on my deck, here at my antebellum palatial estate here in gorgeous Beech Grove, Indiana. Um, I just love coming on the deck at certain times instead of going out front on the balcony. Just on a hot July day, it's so much cooler back here. I've got a couple of big red oak trees, just got the shade and giving me just a little bit of coolness, probably 10 degrees cooler out here than it would be out front. So today I'm on the deck instead of out front on the balcony. And today I've got a cigar review for you right here. I have for you, and this is one of my favorites. I've smoked many of these, so I kind of already know how this is going to go. But again, it's a favorite of mine. It's the Macanudo Cafe Hyde Park. Let me show you here. You can see kind of a lighter brown milk chocolate color. There's your wrapper, kind of a classic Macanudo looking wrapper. This cigar is one of the top selling cigars, and one of the reasons why is because this is a cigar for all cigar smokers. Whether you are a seasoned veteran cigar smoker or whether you're a first-time cigar smoker, this is a great cigar to smoke. And the reason why is it's got the unique combination of having a lot of flavor, but it's mild. It's mild in strength. It's not very strong. So if you're a new smoker and you're not used to, all that nicotine kick, you want a mild cigar. But in many cases, a mild cigar doesn't have much flavor. I've smoked some of them, and it's disappointing to have a cigar that has really little to no flavor. This has a lot of flavor, not like a Maduro type of flavor, but it's got plenty of flavor. But it's light in body. It's not a very strong cigar at all. So before we even get started, I do recommend people try these if you're new at cigar smoking. This would be my number one recommended first cigar you ever smoked. From what I've smoked of these, great construction, good flavor, not real strong. So that's why. So with that, let's get going. So you saw it, it's got the kind of the milk chocolate with a nice wrapper. So pre-lit aroma. When I smell the outside of the cigar, it gives me some grassy notes, maybe some straw or hay. And then when I go inside and again, kind of that grassiness, but really more of a tobacco with a little bit of a sweetness. I can smell a little bit of a sweetness. So let's just call it a sweet tobacco. It's kind of an unidentified sweetness. Yeah, it's not like a candy sweetness or a sugar sweetness or anything like that. It's just kind of sweet and kind of earthy tobacco. That's what I'm getting. And then on the pre-lit draw, fairly perfect. So now let's light it. Now, one thing I want to tell you guys, I typically carry 2 lighters. This lighter is it's hard to see because the sun's out. This is a single flame, 1 flame, quad flame. If you look in there, see the 4 little thingies there? 4 flames, 1 flame. So I try to toast it with the single flame and then finish lighting it with the 4 flame. People have called me a dumbass. Sometimes I am. I have tried toasting it with this and I've burned myself a couple of times. This is a torch, baby. This is 4 flames, and you got this thing like this and you're doing like this, you burn your fingers. It's just great. And this Rockwell was $10. Great cigar, but you can scorch the cigar and you can burn yourself. I mean, I've dropped some curse words using this thing. So anyway, enough of that. I'm going to toast it with this one. Let's get it all the way around. Nice even burn. All right, see what we can do with this bad boy. right from the get-go, you're seeing plenty of smoke output. The draw's pretty close to perfect, not quite perfect, but pretty close to perfect. The first 3 or 4 puffs on a cigar, you're really not going to get much to tell you what the cigar is going to be like. In many cases, the first few puffs, you're going to get a little bit of bitterness, which I just got. Beyond that, it was really light. So let's give her a try again. Real light flavor. Right now I'm getting kind of similar to the prelude. I'm getting some grass and I'm getting some tobacco. So those are different types of earth, vegetative notes. So let me get my stopwatch going. I always like to turn a stopwatch on to see how long it takes to smoke a particular cigar, because I do document all this. And let me smoke this for a little bit and get about a third of the way in, and I will come back and I will give y'all an update. All right, y'all, it's Ricky T, and I am back with my Macanudo Cafe Hyde Park. I'm about a little over 10 minutes in. As you can see, I got a nice ash going. I'm probably going to flip this off in a minute so it doesn't end up in my lap. As you can see, and I turn this, not absolutely perfect, but a pretty damn good burn. I am going to flip this. There we go. So the update from the last time when I was in, about 10-12 minutes ago, the kind of that grass and tobacco that we were getting initially is fairly gone. Still a slight sweetness. The overall flavor profile so far, I'm maybe not quite a third in, maybe a third in. The primary flavor note that I'm getting right now is like a floral note, like if you're going to like smell flowers. It's pleasing. I don't smoke a lot of cigars that have floral notes. This is one of the few. I try to keep a variety of cigars in my humidor, just because you gotta have variety. You want to try as many different cigars as you can. I normally buy these in 5-packs. Sometimes if it's a cigar that I'm familiar with that I really enjoy, I'll get a 10-pack. But if it's a cigar you've never had, I would never buy more than a 5-pack, just in case it ends up sucking. It's better to have 4 extra instead of 9 extra. But I normally smoke your medium to full body, the darker wrapper, kind of the chocolate, espresso coffee notes with the strong pepper. That's not what this is. This is a diversion from what I normally smoke. What else? I had a few other thoughts. It's still mild. I would call it mild plus, which is just almost up to medium in flavor. In strength, it's still pretty much mild. The flavor is a little stronger than the actual strength. There for a minute, just a little bit after I cut off that first segment, I got a little bit of a leather note. It came and left quickly, and the floral is just kind of dominating now. Slight bit of spice. Not quite a pepper yet. Not quite to that point of a spice, and the spice is kind of at the end. It lingers after you blow the smoke. So overall, I'm enjoying it like I always do. Again, it's a diversion for me. You can smoke this in the morning, in the afternoon, at night, full stomach, empty stomach. You could smoke this with coffee. It'd be great with coffee, or you could smoke it with a cocktail or a whiskey. Very versatile. Again, a great cigar for a beginning cigar smoker. But again, so far so good. And let me go ahead and smoke this for a little bit longer, and then I will be back to let you know if there's any changes in the flavor notes or anything else happens. I wouldn't expect any construction problems because these are typically very well constructed from start to finish. But let's see if anything else happens, if there's any transitions, and I'll be back with you shortly to let you know what's going on. All right, y'all, I'm back again with another update. I do have some updates here. We're about 25 minutes into this particular smoke. Since I am here up by myself this afternoon, I'm probably smoking it a little bit faster than if I had a couple of my buddies here and we were drinking bourbon and smoking cigars and talking. It would probably take longer to smoke this because typically you're not going to be smoking as much because you're talking and having a good time with friends. But so I do have some updates, but before I do that, just a few other bits of information to give you. This particular cigar, this particular stick that I'm smoking today is a Robusto, which is 5.5 by 49 ring gauge. Me personally, I do like the smaller ring gauges, the 49, the 48, the 49. Actually, the 50 is my go-to. A lot of people like those big, fat 60 gauge or whatever. I've got some of those in my humidor, and I like those too. But my personal opinion, you may disagree. Me personally, I feel like the smaller, skinnier cigars, you get a better wrapper to filler ratio. Since the filler is skinnier, you're more likely to be able to get some of the flavors out of the wrapper than if it's a big fat 60 gauge. From my experience, that's what I think. Again, you may disagree. That's the beauty of cigar smoking. We all have our own opinions. We all have what we like. We all have what we enjoy. I like to try everything. So also, Cigar Aficionado, they give this a 90, and it's also their 23rd highest rated cigar. If you go on the various cigar websites where you can buy them or where people are reviewing them, they consistently get about a 4.5 out of 5 star. I looked at 6 or 7 different sites. They were all 4.5 stars. One site had only one review with a 5 star. So a very popular cigar, a very highly regarded cigar. Again, beginners like this because it's mild, but those of us who have been smoking for a long, long time, we like them too because they got a lot of flavor. So, great cigar. And for me, again, it's a diversion from what I normally smoke. So, just some more information for you. As far as flavor profile, so when we last spoke, when I gave my last update, I had talked about the floral flavor note. That is totally faded in the background, and then fading in the background to pretty much almost gone now. Now I'm getting predominantly a wood flavor note. Normally when I get a wood flavor note, it's more on the cedar wood. This, I would say, is not cedar. It's some other wood. It's just kind of like wood, generically. That leather note that I had mentioned at the very beginning has come back a little bit. I would call that the secondary note. Now again, it's a lighter leather note. It's not a savory leather note. It's more of a light, just straight leather note. And then there's a third flavor note that I'm really having a hard time identifying. And it's kind of interesting because, when you're used to smoking a certain type of cigar and you're used to a certain flavor profile consistently with the cigars you normally smoke, and then you go to a cigar that's totally different than what you normally smoke, and it's different flavor notes that you're getting, sometimes it is a little difficult to identify certain flavor notes that you're not familiar with. And I don't know what that third flavor note is, but I'm definitely getting a nice wood, and I'm also getting a nice little mild leather to complement it. On the back end, on my palate, after I blow the smoke, the spiciness has really kicked up. Matter of fact, it lingers for a long time. Like I can still, I'm still feeling. I still got that flavor right now. It's not quite a dry smoke, but it's not really real creamy. It's kind of somewhere in between. It's like I'm not like getting parched, but it's not a beautiful, creamy, buttery creaminess. Somewhere in the middle. So, as you can see, I've had a transition every time I've come back. So, complex, very complex. This cigar does retail for about $5.50 online. If you go into a cigar shop, typically in the cigar shop they're a little more, so maybe $6.50 at a cigar shop. Online in a bundle of 5 or 10, they average about $5.50 each. So for $5.50, that's pretty low price for a high quality, complex, delicious cigar. Now, anybody who knows me, y'all know I don't pay retail for any cigar. I try not to pay retail for anything because I'm a cheap ass. So I go on the cigar auctions and I'll just bid on every one of these they have, put in a low bid, and just hope I win one at a low bid. I typically get these for about $3 each on the cigar auction. That's how I get all my cigars. So, just so you know, price range. So again, several different flavor notes I've picked up throughout. It's transitioning, and it's been very enjoyable. So I'm really liking this a lot. When I came back, I was at about the 26, 27 minute mark again on this. So if I get 45, 50 minutes out of this, that'll be great. It's getting close to dinner time, so I'm going to be firing up the grill here in a little bit. So I don't have all day to smoke this, but I will smoke this a little bit longer, and then I'll give you one more update. All right, y'all, I'm about 40 minutes into this. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to smoke this for another 5 to 10 minutes to see what I got left here. I've taken the wrapper off. I've hit the wrapper point. There is slight update to give you. The leather actually picked up to be the predominant flavor note at the end. The wood flavor, as I was smoking it in and I was tasting it, the wood kind of faded there, but the wood really picked up on the back end on my palate. So like right now, I can still get a little bit of that wood flavor. And then in addition to that, that spice picked up big time on the tongue, on the palate. Very long at the end. I will also say the strength picked up from like what I would call a mild plus to a medium minus, or like just right at the beginning of medium. So that's where we're at. So to summarize, oh, by the way, construction still perfect. The burn, almost perfect. Never had to touch it up. Never had to relight it. Construction, perfect. Very good from a flavor perspective. Complex. The flavor notes transitioned throughout. So again, as I've been saying all along, very good cigar for anybody who wants to smoke a cigar, regardless of your where you are on the smoking spectrum. Beginner, experienced, I recommend you get these. Great cigar. Again, 5 to 10 more minutes and I'm going to be done with this. So there you have it. I would say go get some of these, try them if you haven't. And until next time, as you all know, God bless America.